was to be recognized as a state party to the ICC, because there was no use in investigating all these complaints that had been received and then not being able to prosecute them because Palestine was not a state party to the ICC. So she sought clarity from the chamber of the ICC to determine whether the ICC was a state party. And alhamdulillah, that decision has turned out, because jurisdiction is a necessary consideration in the determination of the court's ability to prosecute alleged war criminals. And so she sought clarity on whether Palestine constituted a state party to the ICC, and alhamdulillah, the reasoning was quite good in the judgment, and it recognized that Palestine is the 123rd state party to the ICC, duly admitted with effect from 2nd of January 2015.
Yes, and obviously, recognition given to Palestine, Yousha. And I know you obviously in the past, where we obviously look at the founding treaty, we look at the Rome Statute, and I know you've been quite involved previously in other matters with regard to the Rome Statute. Now, how relevant is this?
Yeah, so look, it changes quite extensively, because it means all those dockets, we haven't had a date. We've written to the ICC and asked them from what date they'll be prosecuting these complaints, whether it will be pre-2015 or post-2015. We don't know the date yet, but there were numerous dockets lodged, and the Muslim Lawyers Association, together with the Palestinian Solidarity Alliance and the Media Review Network, lodged a docket in 2009 directly with the ICC pertaining to Operation Cast Lead in Gaza at the time. And so we've asked whether that will be considered and whether it will be applicable. So it really just gives the permission to commence investigating all these complaints that have been received against the Israelis, and to hopefully start prosecuting them. And one of the aspects I just read briefly was that this will probably be the first non-African country, if these investigations turn out to be charges of a non-African country in the form of Israel being prosecuted for these various dockets, inshallah.
Yes. Now, obviously, we've seen the reaction also come through out of Palestine with the Palestinian Authority. We've seen the reaction come through from Hamas as well, praising the ICC's move. And at the same time, what Hamas is saying, we are defending our own actions, because at the end of the day, it is a path towards achieving justice for the victims of the Palestinian people.
Certainly, and this has been the Muslim lawyers' position. When we lodged the docket, and we did it in both places, we did it with our own NDPP, and we did it also at The Hague simultaneously. One of the, surprising, but I suppose not surprising, but one of the representatives at the PCLU NDPP unit had asked us in that meeting when we lodged the docket whether we were amenable to the prosecution of Hamas and other organizations who they believe to be committing war crimes against Israel at the time, to be prosecuted. And we said, absolutely. Absolutely. If you think you've got evidence to prosecute people who you label as terrorists, Palestinians fighting for freedom of their land, do so, but apply the same equality of prosecution to the Israelis. Paint it with the same brush. We're amenable to it, and I think the fact that Israel has denounced the judgment, Israel obviously not a signatory to the Rome Statute, USA, not surprisingly, not a signatory to the Rome Statute, have condemned this judgment, and Hamas and other organizations have welcomed it. It's indicative of the morality. It's clearly indicative of the morality, and certainly the recognition as a state party will give the ICC prosecutor the jurisdiction to investigate these complaints and hopefully result in prosecutions and to further show the world what the Israelis really are.
Exactly. And I think when we see the Israeli response, and obviously we're not surprised, Yousha, immediately the response has been the ICC, the decision that they had reached is in essence one of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, they always play that card, don't they? You and I have heard it far too long. I mean, if we would just concentrate on adl, on justice, and I mean the reality is coming to the fore slowly but surely about these war crimes and the wanton killing of people. I mean, recently I watched the WhatsApp and I was shocked at the content about primary school children in Israel being taught to believe that Arabs and Palestinians and Muslims are lesser human beings. It's just ridiculous, man. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. Well, Yousha, let's see what pans out. But as always, we do appreciate your time with us. Have yourself a great Jummah, inshallah.
I mean, you two always available for the Ummah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yousha Tayob joining us. We're going to go for a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Abdullah Griffith from the Al Mizan, a Palestinian Human Rights Institute. Now, this comes against Sheikh Raid Salah. And an Israeli court has prolonged his confinement for another 6 months.
Osman's Taj Mahal Spice and Rice. For over 80 years, Osman's Taj Mahal have been perfecting the art of the perfect blend of spices, pure, aromatic, and well-seasoned. Spices to tantalize your taste buds. From creative cuisines to gastronomical gourmet goodies. From exotic odors to traditional dishes, Osman's Taj Mahal have remained synonymous with quality spices and condiments. Taj Mahal rice, beans, and lentils. Try our range of chili bite mixes, rose and ilachi syrup, our quick and easy biryani pack, and our traditional range of spice blends. Osman's Taj Mahal. There is no substitute for quality.
A strip of land with over 2 million people blockaded for 13 years. Healthcare is on its knees, food is scarce, and water is inadequate. COVID has wreaked havoc in the lives of the people of Gaza. 53% of the population live below the poverty line. 80% of Gaza relies on external aid to survive. And 20,000 children are now orphans. The future is bleak. Please, don't forget Gaza. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Motala Perfumes, one of the biggest perfume manufacturing houses